bit about limiting beliefs in our first initial call. And I really appreciated what we kind of talked about regarding your team, regarding your thought process on it. And I would love for you to share a little bit about your personal experience with limiting beliefs and how you have kind of adjusted and pivoted the way that you show up in the world, recognizing that this is a thing.
You know, uh, all of us do have limiting beliefs in so many different ways. Um, and I mean, I even caught my mother, who's 85, who's saying, "Well, I'm just too stupid. I can't do that." And I went, "No, no, mom. You simply haven't learned how to do that. Now you can choose not to learn how to do that, but you're not stupid. You're a very intelligent, bright woman." And so that's one of the first things is that there are times that I even try to stop myself from, I'll go, wait a minute. No, it's just that, like I really know nothing about managing our website and all the stuff. I have this incredible, incredible team member, Amanda, who is phenomenal. And I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't have the skills. It's just I haven't chosen to learn how to do that. And she's embraced that and she's phenomenal at it. And she's learned so much through our journey as a business. And so that's the first thing is sort of to take that step back. If you ever hear yourself saying those negative things, say, whoa, whoa. What did I just do? What did I just say? The same thing with apologizing all the time. Stop, catch yourself. Why am I apologizing for this? I mean, it's crazy how much women apologize. And that's literally a projection of a limiting belief. Like somehow we have to solve every problem or, take care of everyone. So that's another place where, and then that tendency to want to say yes, stop again and say that I call it the powerful pause. Leverage that, stop and think, and then respond. And just don't keep saying yes. Don't keep apologizing. Don't keep letting negative Nelly shout out whatever she's whispering in your ear. Instead, take that moment to think about the thought. Well, what does that mean? Why am I thinking like this? And this especially shows up for women and entrepreneurs and business owners when it comes to sales, because there's so many negative aspects of sales that I'm sorry, but a male world has sort of pushed along these sleazy manipulative tactics. But we can say, no, we're not going to be like that. And that's certainly a place where a lot of limiting beliefs show up. And limiting beliefs can become very severe in the case of imposter syndrome. And I think that's one of the things you and I touched on, because that was one thing that my team wanted to put together was a course on overcoming imposter syndrome. And as they worked on that, and then they presented everything to me, I was like, I don't get it. I literally said, this is terrible. This is awful. And my daughter took me aside and she said, Mom, when have you ever felt that you didn't deserve a seat at the table? Never. She said, yes, that's the difference.
Yeah.
These people who have imposter syndrome do not believe that they deserve a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, light bulbs. And that was a transformational moment for me too, because all of a sudden I could see how these self-limiting beliefs, how they can poison us and hold us back and keep us in chains. And whether you have it to that extent of imposter syndrome, or just where you're afraid to ask for the sale, or afraid to ask for a referral, afraid to ask for what you're worth.
Yeah.
And it's really then doing that work to address, why am I afraid? Because as women, traditionally, we are trained to be quiet, to be polite, and to sit in the back seat.
Yeah.
So we have to overcome that. And we have to stand in our own power. And that is like anything else. A baby doesn't just go from laying on its back to suddenly running across the room. It doesn't happen that way. So we have to take these steps where you roll over, then you're on your knees, and then you're gripping the sofa, and you're crawling along, and the next thing you're walking like Frankenstein.
Yes.
And then you're running.
Yeah.
So, I want everyone to think about this. You're not going to suddenly go from being afraid to talk on stage to being brilliant on stage. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You need to take steps to get there.
Yeah.
And you will learn. And when you fall down and you have something cringeworthy, like my very first guest podcast was awful. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you say, okay, I got through it.
Yeah.
I actually got better halfway through because I relaxed. I'll do better next time. Yeah. And I did. Okay. Yep. So it's a learning process. And I want everyone to remember that.
Yeah. And I think the important part of that story also is the doing. So like recognizing you had never done a podcast and then still doing the podcast, then podcast not going exactly how you wanted it to go, and then doing it again anyways.
Yeah.
And those are the steps that people miss sometimes is they're scared. They're like, I don't know how to do it. So then they never do it. Or they do it one time. It doesn't quite go right. They're embarrassed at the one person they did it in front of. And then they never do it again. And then their dreams, their desires, and everything that it could have become stops.
Yeah. Instead, you go, okay, that didn't go so well. But what did I learn from this experience?
Exactly. I love it.
I learned this and this. And now I'm ready to apply that. And I'm going to try again. Yeah. It's like, nobody gives up from stopping to learn how to ride a bike.